Who the fuck is Rune?
What's up?
How you doing, dear?
Decent.
Good session. You're improving quite nicely. Are you
Oh,
noticing improvements?
glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm definitely trying.
Wonderful. Rune, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to get my camera working.
No
One
worries.
second.
But Dio, you have to push more and practice more. Right now,
Yeah.
put it like this, right? Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. I'll show you this until Rune gets his camera on. So entrepreneurship, nice and simple. It's Rune, he joins us. Where are you from, Rune?
Yes, I'm from Belgium.
Oh, the land that doesn't exist. Got
It's
it.
like beneath the Netherlands.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's a very empty land with a bunch of drug dealers. So
True.
let me just go over one thing with Dio. Dio, yes. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's only it's one thing, right? Time, right? If you are 15, 20, 30, 40, right? It's all about how much time you put in. The fact is, you're putting in time now, which means by the time that you're 20, you will be on fuck money, which isn't a good thing. Like for like your mental health and just life, it's just not good when people like you do well because you've started way too soon. Right? Ruin for context, Dio's 15. He's basically whipping most people, not most, a bunch of people in the program. He already has a client. So yeah, it's very fun because people keep losing to a 15-year-old. Rune, just for context, what niche are you in?
I switched just to real estate on basis of earnest advice.
Okay, wonderful. Very easy niche to book appointments in. Very good. And Alex, you're driving, right? Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Alex, we just have one rule when it comes to driving. If you're about to crash, be a decent human being, turn on your camera. Just like, why not? Like, if,
We'll do. We'll do on standby buys as well.
honestly, like, just you're about to die, might as well entertain some people just before death, kind act. Cool. So we're just going to go over some concepts today, simply because it's beneficial for everybody. It's Let's go over a few common things. Let's go over second order consequences, and then we'll go over outreach. Yeah, because Dio's being retarded with outreach and they're new to a new. So who here knows what second order consequences are? All right. What one thing that you guys have to understand, right? When it comes to business, you can use systems to improve your business for everything to work with ease, right? To the same extent, you can do this to life, right? Genuinely, like this applies to life. And when you can use this in life, life just like business becomes a lot easier. Fundamentally, your business, spelling is terrible, is you, right? Literally, you are the blood of your business. The fact that you guys either are working by yourselves or have a very, very small team, it literally means you are your business. Do you guys do everything for your business? Yes. Right? So the more focus you put on you, the more focus that will go into your business. Right? As an example, Dio is very active in all the sessions, joining extra sessions, and is doing much better on sales calls because of that. Now, all he's doing is feeding him, right? Now, second order consequences are nice and simple. So I made a mistake, knowing I knew it was going to be a mistake. I got myself a nice TV, right? It's a nice, solid size TV just over there. Now, what is the problem with me getting a TV? What is the second order? Yeah, Dio?
You're gonna feel obligated to use it more,
There
right?
we go. I watch it, right? Now, let's say you download IG. What is the consequence? Scroll, right? Now, one question. you guys have Instagram on your phone? There's only one correct answer. Deal.
Have you heard of Opal? There's
Fuck
a
is-
need.
What is
Okay,
that?
sure. It's pretty much something that blocks every app on your phone for a certain amount of time. So I haven't gone into Instagram for a month and a half, so I haven't.
Okay. Okay, very good. Yeah. You guys need to figure out hacks in life. You have to look at your behaviors and understand there is nothing special about you. Like there's fundamentally nothing special. Dio at one point is going to make more money than what he should be at his age. Dio, I'm going to remind you, you're not special.
Of course.
That's nothing special. Yeah. I'm going to have to remind you when you do that as well. You need to be humbled because you're thinking better than everyone. Then like I have to humble these people. All right. So we have to look at behaviors that allow us to grow, right? But now I want to quickly touch on behaviors that mean that you do not grow, right? It is very, very logical, right? And it's what I had when I started business, right? I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I was very unsure. So I did simple maths, right? I said, everyone kept telling me that 2 out of 3 businesses fail or some shit or some shit or some shit. So I said, hold on, that's amazing maths. If 2 out of 3 businesses fail, if there's a 10% success rate, all I need is to fail on 10 businesses and one of them will succeed. Oh my goodness, it's destined. I'm destined for success. I just have to eat through all the fucking failure and then I've got a really good business. That's fucking amazing. This is 100% success rate in my books. Yes, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there as long as you are there, right? One thing I say, or I said to myself previously, is I don't care how long it takes me to get on my boat. I don't care if someone else has a boat because them enjoying their boat, I don't experience that. It means nothing to me. And at the moment that I'm on my boat, I'm on my boat and I've done it. So I'm happy. And the build up to that is going to feel like it's gone in a flash. As an example, you guys have gone through times that are very difficult. Yes, it felt like it lasted bloody forever, right? Dio, in your case, like when you're in detention. Yes, feels as though it lasts forever, and then it doesn't. Pain is temporary, right? So then that's what got me to figure out, cool, that's amazing, right? So I will succeed. But then the next thing is surroundings, right? When you guys are kicking off an entrepreneurship, the biggest thing is not what is going to get you to succeed, what is going to hinder your success, right? And only one thing, your greatest enemy is you, right? But now, what is feeding the bad part of you, right? As an example, with me, I remember there was a time where I was partying a lot, and I had this big group of friends. We got about 30 people in the group, and then we would sleep over at one person's house and just stay there for a few days. I'm laying on the floor, and I'm looking at all these degenerates, and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing? This is not helping my odds for shit, right? And through a period of months, I just cut them all off. Then I took it to a whole extreme, right? So first thing I did was cut out the people that aren't good. But then I came to the conclusion that I am being abnormal. Okay, my pen's not working for some reason. Abnormal. And you guys have to understand there is nothing normal about what you want, right? On the basis that you want to be successful, you've literally looked in the mirror and said, I'm better than everyone. I don't have to follow the rules. I'm going to go my way. I'm going to make a whole lot of money that people shouldn't have because I can. And other people can't because they're stupid or they're too lazy or da. I'm going to do it, right? You're literally being abnormal. So what that means is any thought that somebody else has, you can't have that thought, right? Like I would say 80% of someone else's brain process does not work for entrepreneurship, right? As an example, sleep routine. Yes, you need an optimal sleep routine. My approach, I don't need sleep. Yes, I need a lot of fucking caffeine, a lot of fucking hours because my sleep means nothing. Yes. Now people say to me, or they would say to me in the past, then you're not going to have enough energy to do work. And I came to the conclusion, work isn't that difficult. Like it genuinely isn't that difficult. Okay, let's go with Rune. Rune, Tell me one task that you've done in the past 6 months that was really intensive, that needed full brain power.
Um,
Go with you.
the start of the start of my calling, basically calling people for market research. That was intensive for me.
So picking up the phone and asking humans questions was intensive.
Yeah, well, it sounds stupid, but like in the beginning, yeah, because of stress.
Because of? Yeah,
Because
where
of
did the stress come from?
yeah, just from me thinking that I was disturbing them, me thinking like they were business owners and I'm just a guy in the room.
If
You
you
know?
were doing it for someone else's business, would you find it as stressful? Let's imagine I paid you to be a cold caller and you just called people. Would you
Yeah,
find it as
no,
stressful?
no, I don't think so.
So it's literally all in the head. I came to the conclusion no work is actually that difficult. You can basically turn off your brain, right? I guarantee you can turn off your brain, have a list of questions, and just call people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? But then it's all in the head. Work isn't that difficult. I came to the conclusion I don't actually need that much sleep in order to do all of my work, right? And with that, we fast forward to like, I'm extreme, don't follow me. Yes. I came to, let's say I had 4 people remaining in my life. Now, these people were all good people, positive tick, tick, tick. They were very good for me, but they were not good for my business, right? Because I would have phone calls with them, I would meet them. Now, I like to look at stats, and I came to the conclusion that it would be much better off because the way that humans work is we learn from each other. So when I hang out with my friend, second order consequence, I'm going to pick up traits from my friend, whether I like it or whether I don't. The way that it works is I will look at that person, they will do a behavior. If they get positive reinforcement from the outside world, I will then do a micro test of that behavior. If I get positive reinforcement, then I will take on that behavior. That's how behavior is learned, right? And then with that, if he's not an entrepreneur or not going down the entrepreneurship road, got a lot of love for the guy, but he doesn't help me with what I do. So I fucked off to I found a place. It was Turkey in the off season. So Turkey in the off season is fucking empty and very fucking cheap. So I went to Turkey, right? I had nobody there. Turkish people, for some reason, did not decide to learn English ever. Yes. So I'm there. I'm bored, right? After a while of just pure boredom and fucking around, I get bored of the things that are fulfilling my boredom. All of a sudden, all I do is work, right? And I spend months away from the whole world, just working, because I've got fucking nothing else to do, right? As such, what are the second order consequences of me going this far extreme? Yeah. What it means is I'm able to hone my brain the way I need my brain to be. Now, do not go this extreme because there are definitely negatives. I am not good socially, right? Like on a social circle, unless I like shut my mouth, people will dislike me very quickly because I'm just like I'm too detached from how people operate, right? So you have to look at what actions result in success and what actions result in failure. Yes, if you've got siblings, parents, friends, or let's say friends, they smoke, they do drugs, or they party, or this or that, or this or that. You have to pause and think, what does the business want? Right? At the end of the day, what does the business want? These are my friends from my childhood. They're very important to my heart. Da, 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 da. What does the business want? Right? And you have to look at that and understand that everything that you do has an impact on the business, right? But now let's go on into outreach. Common sense dictates, right? That, oh, come on, more outreach equals more calls, which equals more practice, which equals a higher closing rate, which equals more clients, which equals more practice, which equals more monthly monthly recurring revenue. Does this make sense? This is
Yes.
all all of this is common sense, nothing special here. So we have to look at it. What is the highest determining factor? More outreach. But now the fact is, so I've worked with people who they were doing 1,000 cold calls per day. Yes. Now, Ruin, you pause there. I'm not even impressed by 1,000. 1,000 is just logical, right? Ruin, what's the amount of cold calls you've done in a day?
Well, they were just market research calls with 20, like
Cool.
20.
Dio, you're not doing cold callers outreach, are you?
I used to for real estate agents. So right after I got back from school, 4 hours, I think I did something like 320, something like that.
320, honestly, decent numbers. Like 320 should be your like running average, right? But then our goal is 1,000. So now, granted, 1,000 is extreme. But then I remember there's one guy that I trained. He was the Jew. Yeah, he wasn't Jewish. I just called him the Jew because he looked Jewish, right? And nothing racist. I said it to his face. So he was doing 1,000 per day. Now, the people who like don't speak with me, they'll do 15 a day and they'll think they did very good, right? So what this means is this guy is doing 20 days worth of this person, right? After 1 week, we're looking at what, 5,000. That is 100 days of this person this guy is doing in 1 week. But now, what is the difference over here, right? When we look at second order consequences, there is only one thing that you need to train in yourself to do 1,000 cold calls. Now, let's take 2 guesses. Dio, what's your guess?
Discipline.
Close. More specific, Rune?
Just go through the pain, boredom, go through the boredom.
There we go. You actually hit it perfectly. Boring. How long can you do a boring task for? Right? Like, that's the only issue with cold calling. After a while, it gets really fucking boring. Yes? So, way back when I was doing cold calling, I was just trying to figure out what games can I play while doing cold calling. I came to the conclusion, I can't. All games distract me too much. It fucks up my cold calling. So what I would do, I would print a piece of paper. I would get my highlighters, right? And now this would be it was a picture with no like color inside. And I would spend hours just coloring it in. Yes, while cold calling. So I'm just pressing loads of buttons, speaking to loads of people, but I don't care about that. My focus is on coloring my picture. But it's not enough of a distraction that it takes me away from the cold call. So that bypassed it being boring for me because my focus was on coloring my pictures. Then cold calling allowing me to get my numbers up. Right? So that is a way, and I actions like this I class as hacking. Yes. So I have 2 options here. I can either fight boredom, build boredom, right? Or I can just color a fucking picture, do the exact same amount of work. So cool. I'm not going through the long thing. I'm going to find something that's going to allow me to do the boring work. But now, when we look at this, another aspect is dopamine, right? Your levels of dopamine would decide what you find boring. So let's go. Like, this is simple stuff. I'm just going to illustrate it for you. Rune, if I told you to read a book in 1 day, could you do it?
Yes.
So,
I think
okay, let me go a bit further. Could you read for 8 hours in 1 day?
In one row, in one reading session.
Yeah.
No.
Now, what would happen if I threw you in a jail cell? There's 4 walls, you got food, you had no human contact and nothing to entertain yourself except looking at the cracks of a wall. You did that for 1 week. If I gave you a book, would you believe me if I then tell you all you will do is read that book?
Yeah.
Yes,
Obviously.
but it's very simple. It's all to do with reward, right? Because dopamine from a book is very high, unless you're comparing it to TikTok. Yes, unless you're comparing it to a bunch of fucking social media apps. So the more that you cut those out, the easier you will find boredom. And then you can structure your boredom to maximize the one thing, which is more outreach. So as you optimize for this, right? So as you optimize for outreach, right? You then end up doing more cold calls, more practice, so on, so on, so on. Right? Now, one small example, not too relevant, but I'll mention it. There was a time that I had my place, and then the lady I was seeing, she had her place. She convinced me to rent out my place, and then I went to her place, right? And then we got into a big argument, and I thought, fuck, I have no power here because I don't have a flat to live in. She's causing me stress, but she's now in charge. This isn't good for my dopamine or how I see myself in the mirror. So at the time I was working a job, I slept in that office for the whole month in order to not fuck with my brain. Now, I wasn't allowed to sleep in that office. So what I would do is I would wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I would work all the way till the evening until I passed out. Yes? Now, there was no shower in that office, but it was a Muslim office. So what they had, you know, the water things to wash your ass? Yes?
Yes.
Right? So it's basically a kind of like a spray. Like you just spray it in like water flat. That was my shower for the month. Yes, got myself a soap bar, done. Right? The good thing is they had one of those squatting toilets where it's not a toilet, you just squat to take a shit. So use that. That was my shower for the month. But then in that month, the amount of work that I was able to do, yes, and the amount of power that I had in doing work, like you have to look at all the consequences of everything that happens. Yes. Now, to another extent, we have to look at what's it called? We have to look at relationships, right? So if you get into an argument with somebody and you then fold on that argument, what are you telling yourself? Right? Let's say to another more specific example, let's use Mr. Rune. Rune, are you in a relationship?
No.
Have you been in one?
Oh, what did you say?
Have you been in a relationship?
No.
Okay. There will come a day, and Dio, same for you when you're of age to speak to women. There will come a day where you will need to, where you'll be in an argument, and then you will leave the argument, and you're going to say to friends, I'm going to tell her this, I'm going to tell her that, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to bump into her, and then you're not going to do any of what you said. Right? Now, what is the consequence of that? Deal.
Less conviction in yourself. Right.
Another way to say it is you stop trusting yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And that there kills entrepreneurs. It will kill you as an entrepreneur so quickly. Another example on how this will impact you on a day-to-day is when you do dumb shit like saying, I will do this later. Right? Entrepreneurs will say this often. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Now, it's very easy to say to yourself, I'll do this tomorrow, or I'll make up for this tomorrow. The reason that it's easy is because you're putting future work onto future you, hoping that future you is going to feel good. But now let's fast forward to future you. Have there been times where you haven't done what you said you would do later? All of a sudden, trust level goes down, right? And if this goes too down, you will destroy yourself, right? Because the more you do this, if like, it is worse than not being able to trust the person closest to you if you can't trust any word that you say, right? So the easiest thing to do, it's super simple. I will decide if I do this later. It is a decision for future me because I don't know what future me is going to go through, right? Saying this will save your mental a lot, right? Because if you fuck this up, what you're then fucking up is the second order consequences of making a promise, not sticking to the promise because it's too much, so on and so forth. That has a negative effect, so on and so forth, down the rabbit hole. Does this make sense? Right? Now, this can be put to every single moment in your life, right? And I have put myself in dumb decisions, and after this, I'm going to go into some sales theory, right? Just as an example on how important I find this one aspect. So I was on a train in London, and I'm chilling. And one thing, okay, I'm gonna have to cover a few points here. One thing that's very important is eye contact, right? When you give people eye contact, you must be the last person to look away or look down, right? It's a very big thing when it comes to how you see yourself and how other people see you. Most people aren't conscious of this. They will look down first. The second you look down first, you accept that you are the beta, right? It's just a genuine thing. Most people aren't conscious of it, but next time you're looking at people, see who looks down first. And you'll notice as you are able to hold your eyesight and they look down first, they basically fold, you don't. It's a micro thing that happens that has an effect on the conscious. Now, I do this regularly. At times it gets me in trouble. So there was a man on the train. We ended up doing this back and forth, really fucking annoying. But I didn't think anything of it. And then he says at one point, "What the fuck are you looking at?" Now, this is a busy train. He was very aggressive. I said, "I'm looking at you. What the fuck are you looking at?" Yes. He then says, do we have a problem?" I'm there like, fuck. I can easily look away, but gotta do what I gotta do. So then I look back at him and I say, "You tell me, do we have a problem?" Right? Everything is chilled. He just, right? Now, people in the train have now noticed. I'm like, fuck it. It is what it is. We're all chilling. Then the idiot starts looking at me again. We go back into eye contact. He then gets up, walks towards me. Now, what is the only response I can have? Now, there is a sensible response, and there's a response where I am able to show myself in micro lessons who I am. So what is the only thing that I can do?
Knock him the fuck out.
Nope. That is unnecessary and insecure.
Kill
Yes.
him.
The only thing to do is walk up to him as well. Right? So he walked up to me, I walked up to him, we met halfway. And it wasn't that far. I'm thinking, fuck. There's a high chance I have to fight this fucker now. Right? But then as this was going on, he's huffing, he's puffing. I'm just chilling there. I was about to take off my jacket, but then I thought if I take off my jacket, I'm showing the wrong behavior. Right? Because then he's going to think I'm going to fight. I don't need to fight here. So best we keep the jacket on. I was getting quite hot at that point. But I said, fuck it, keep it on. He then said, huff, your people aren't worth it. And then he fucked off. Then I was curious to who my people are because I'm relatively fucking, it's quite hard to tell where I'm from. So I thought, I wonder what race he thought I was. And then I calmed down. Right? Everything was chilled. But in that moment, who did I show myself to be? How did I teach myself to react? Granted, it wasn't the most stressful of moments, but then it's in these micro moments we show ourselves who we are. And they will happen a lot more often than what you think, right? And then it then comes to the question of, you can ask 100 men, what would you do if your woman was in danger? 100 men would say defend her. How many do you want to bet would not defend her? Flight or fight will kick in, and because they're not used to it, they will run. Right? There are certain parts that the bulk of men, a good chunk would run, a good chunk would grab her and run, and a very small chunk of men would then tell her, get the fuck out of here, and just be there. Now, is that wise? Maybe, depending on how much you love her. My ruling is if I see a bitch getting knocked out or being attacked by a man, I'm going to watch. Because there's a 30% chance she deserves it. So I'm not getting involved in that. And there's a 70% chance other like knights in shining armor are going to come defend her. Because that's just the nature of stupid men. Yes? So I'm not going to risk myself in a stupid situation that I don't know about. Right? Now, obviously, if it was a little bit different, let's say it's just him, just her, and I'm the only one seeing, that's different. Right? But in a public setting, I know not to get involved. I know instinctively I will want to get involved, but I know, do not do it. I have nothing to fucking gain here. Yes? Because the way that it works is he's going to hit her. She's going to fuck off. She's going to come back. Let them live their cycle of trauma. Right? But then it's all about second order consequences. And the entrepreneur that understands that they are the business is the entrepreneur that will succeed the quickest. Right? Because the quicker you upgrade yourself, the quicker you will succeed. Right? It is you who is the business because it is you who people speak to, you who does the work, you who decides the movements of what happens. Right? A good way to put it is way back when, like this is early days of my entrepreneurship, I came to the conclusion, fuck, I'm just guessing. I'm a professional guesser. Like I have to do everything and I just have to guess what's next or what's the best path. Right? By this point, I have enough experience. It's no longer guessing. It's just calculated. right? But then as you guys are getting going, if you don't have the right guidance, you're just guessing. What do I do under said circumstances? As an example, Dio the retard took a wrong guess, put all the money that he got to his clients into the wrong systems because he's a spastic. He took a bad guess. Yes. All he had to do was fucking come to me. I would have told him what the fuck to do. But you know, he guessed wrong. But then it's a series of guesses, and the more knowledge one accumulates and the smarter one makes their moves, the quicker they are to succeed. But then it's all back to you. Right? All Dio had to do was do enough research to figure out how to get the end result for the client, and then he would have seen that there's different avenues available. Right? So that being said, that is the you part. But now, just to a breakdown, let's do a breakdown on the structure of a sales call. So sales call, what we are kicking off with is we have the discovery. We then have the negative rapport. We then have the presentation, presentation, and then we have objection handling. Yes, all aspects of the 4 parts of the call. By the way, Ruin, if you don't know what this is, just stick towards the end and then I'll break it down for you. Right? So these are the 4 aspects of the call. Articulation will help me with this, will help me with this, will help me with this, right? Vocabulary will help me with all aspects of the call. Psychology, or reading books on psychology and human nature, will help me with the negative rapport and objection handling. Putting myself in on purpose, like putting yourself in uncomfortable situations will help you with the negative rapport, will help with objection handling. So just by improving these 4 aspects of yourself, you're automatically applying this across these series here. Right? And this is not these have nothing to do with these. Right? Fundamentally, articulation, it's a life skill, vocabulary, life, psychology, so on and so forth. But by focusing on these aspects, right, which is you rather than the sales itself, your sales naturally improves. Does this make sense? And this is another example of second order consequences. Right? Now, does anyone have any questions of what we've gone over thus far? Right, give me 1 second. Wonderful. But is your name actually Rune? R-U-N-E?
Yeah, that's actually my name.
Cool. To be fair, we've got someone called Dio as well. Yeah, Dio, what's your full name?
Dio.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Cool. So, and these are the fundamentals of the call. By the way, Rune, do you know what these sections of the call are?
I don't know what negative report is for the rest.
So, Dio, what is negative rapport?
Yeah, so negative report is pretty much making the prospect feel like shit, pretty much making them point their finger at themselves for the fact that they're not where they want to be because of the actions they chose or didn't chose to do. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Wonderful. So, yeah, negative rapport, and this is all about discomfort, right? So, just the premise is nice and simple. Let's say you're my prospect. I need you to understand that you are the reason you aren't where you fucking want to be. Because you slept in, you didn't do work, you said you're gonna fucking do shit, you didn't do, so on and so forth. And it's true. And if I can get you, I won't tell it to you. If I can get you to tell me that you are the reason that you aren't where you want to be, amazing. You won't be the reason you get there. And you have accepted that, whether or not you like to publicly admit it, right? But you have indirectly accepted that, allowing me to then give you the solution to the pain, right? Because like brain, the way it works, amygdala, everything we do is either pain or pleasure, right? So with those 2 things, I put you in enough pain, your brain wants a solution like this very quickly. The more pain I get, the more powerful the solution or the desire for the solution. I give you a good solution, done. You'll run with it, right? a very good, so I'll give an example of the utilization of psychology and uncomfort that allowed me to get good at negative report. Saying to a prospect, can I ask you a question? Ruben, you'll be my example. You're my pretend prospect. Ruben, can I
Okay.
ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Taking everything into consideration, and I don't mean this personally, just taking everything into consideration with what you've tried, what you haven't tried, and where you are right now. When you look in the mirror, like, are you proud of yourself?
Yes, I think I
Why?
would say. Because I've come so far and I'm trying to grow.
Okay, but you say trying. Do you not think you could have done a bit more by now?
Yeah, definitely. I could have done more.
So why are you proud when you look in the mirror knowing that you could have done more?
Yeah, for the things that I've already accomplished, but yeah, I could have been farther.
But then, like, are you comfortable, or like, do you not set yourself up to high standards, considering that you're proud right now?
No, I do set myself up for high standards, but yeah, no, I could have done better.
So why are you proud?
No, not 100%, no.
So then, when you look in the mirror, are you proud of yourself? You said yes. Is that still your answer?
No,
And how does that feel?
like shit, that I'm not there where I could be, that I've not put my whole potential to.
But then why didn't you do more?
I don't know, because I didn't do the work required to do.
Who are you doing all of this for?
I'm doing it for my family, to give them everything I can.
So would you agree with me that knowing that that's your goal, every time you don't try hard, it's because you don't care about your family?
No,
So
yeah,
but then why don't you do more if you care?
yeah. I don't know. I should do more. Yeah.
But why don't you? Like it comes across as though you don't care because you say that's the reason, but then you also know that you're not doing as much as what you could. So clearly you don't care enough. Because if you cared enough, you'd do more, wouldn't you?
I should do more. Yeah. I should do more for
But do
the
you
ones I
actually
care
care?
about.
Like
I
if you
do
think
care.
about it, but how much do you like? Would you not assume that if you really cared, you wouldn't sleep, you would just do work, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
right.
so why aren't you doing that?
I don't know. Just because I have no idea. I just don't.
But then, look, based on your actions, would you say that the part of you doesn't care?
Know. Oh yeah, based on my actions, but yeah, I guess.
Would you want
Because
that to
I've
change?
yeah, definitely.
Like how far are you willing to go to get that to change?
But I would do everything, I guess, to do.
Wonderful. So as you see, I've just run you through a bunch of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've given
Yeah.
myself a wonderful fucking hook at the end, which is, but you told me you cared. Do you not care? Yes. And then I can use, like, people say that you can use parts of the call to your advantage in objection handling. It's not even that I can use part of it. I can use you against your fucking self by pulling sentences that you've now said to me when I'm trying to close. Because you said this. You said that you could have done more, but what, you're not willing to take risks now. So you don't care. But I'm not judging you, but like I want to help you, but I need you to be honest with me. Are you not willing to take the you go further, you go
Mm-hmm.
further, you go further, right? And the more pain you're able to like pull off someone, like we could have gotten a lot fucking deeper than that. But it's a group call, and I'm not doing sales with you now, yes? But you can go a
Yeah.
lot fucking deeper to the point that you can make someone cry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good example, based on this circumstance. Have you ever told anyone in your family that you're going to make the difference?
Are we still in like the role playing thing?
Yeah, we're role playing. What's the role playing?
Oh yeah, okay. Yes, I've told my family, yeah.
Have you seen your mom suffer?
Yes.
So why don't you care enough to push yourself? Or why haven't you cared? If you look back at the moments where you were just relaxing, not doing anything, and then you look at the moments when you've seen her suffer, I thought you
Because
would have done
because I've put my own pleasure
over
over
your mom
doing what
suffer.
over what I should have done.
And is that who you want to see when you look in the mirror?
No.
Wonderful. So you are not like you see how far it goes,
Yeah.
right? And you push further. Oh, like it's psychological fucking like it's warfare. Because I'm just running you through dirt. I'm running you through dirt. Yes. And the more you do this to a prospect, right? And you can't do it to an intellectual prospect. So someone who has a lot of money and is successful, don't fucking do this. It's not gonna fucking work. They'll tell you to go fuck your mother before you try anything. All right. But then the deeper that you can take someone, the more closed deals you will have, because the more pain you are inciting from them, allowing you to close at a higher level. All right. So there's two options. People will either say, and imagine if everything went well, and then you can go on your dream vacation. How would that make you feel? Imagine if you can change everything for your mom. How would that make you feel? Yes, cool, you'll feel good, but nowhere close to how bad you'll feel when I'm pulling pain. Right? And Arun, just to further this example, let's imagine you've made good money, right? You've made a few million. Would you spend 1 million on taking your mother to holiday? You've made 3 million.
Yes.
So you have 3 million in the bank, 3 million. Would you take your
Okay.
mom on a $1 million holiday?
Yes.
2 million,
Mm.
3 million.
No.
Cool. Your mother has cancer and she's dying. How much of your money are you willing to put to the treatment?
Oh.
Pain, pleasure. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pain is a lot more powerful to get people to do stuff than pleasure. Because everybody wants a dream life, but no one's gonna fucking work for it. But if everyone has fucking cancer, I promise you they're gonna do what the fuck they can to work for it. Yes. So then we push much more on pleasure. And so we push much more on pain. But then the key thing is articulation, it's vocabulary, it's psychology, listening to the words that they're saying and understanding what's going to make them tick. Right. And then how comfortable am I in discomfort? As an example, Dio, if I asked you to say that to somebody, could you feel uncomfortable?
Say what to somebody?
If I asked you to leverage a dying mother, as an example, a dying mother, right? Would you feel uncomfortable to do so?
I might.
Yeah. One of the guys that we trained, he hit 40,000 in 3 months. This motherfucker was a piece of shit. Generally, he was deluded, thought he was the next fucking messiah, helped him a lot, right? But then one prospect, and he was in real estate, one prospect, her husband just died, right? He used that against her on the call, yes, in the negative report part, saying, but now, since your husband died, what happens if this doesn't go well? Like, what are you gonna do? And he pushed and he fucking pushed. Yes. Now, granted, she left that call crying, saying she couldn't handle it and she had to fuck off. She never booked back in. Yes. But now, when you're willing to go that far, you make money very quickly because you don't give a fuck. Right. And now, the fact is, all of this is very bad. But doing this allows you to put your prospects into a position that they start working with you and you can then help them. Right. Meaning that it is worthwhile. Right? As an example, let's say that you are a psychologist. Are you going to tell someone who's going through a lot of shit, don't worry, you're fine? No. You have to get them to acknowledge the truth of their circumstances in order to help change their circumstances. Right? And the good thing with this is on the basis that they see that you see, they will believe that you can help them. Right? If I can look at Rune and all of his problems, I'm gonna bring him to fucking light. And I say, Ruin, I see everything. Right? Are you then going to believe that I have the solution for you on how to get out of it? Or are you more
Uh,
inclined to believe?
yeah, yeah.
Right? And for a lot of people, all of this is very good for them because it's a weight lifted off their shoulder. This person sees me for who I am. They know my truth. They're now here to help me change. I can be helped. I can get out of this bullshit. Because many people want to change their circumstances, but they're not strong enough to do it and they need the help. Make sense? Wonderful. Anything else? Oh, so any questions that you guys have based on this session?
Like family meetings is like also not improving the business, right?
Family
So
meetings.
family parties, not family meetings, family parties basically. Like, should you attend? Should you find a balance in that sort of stuff? The same with friends, like,
Understand there is no balance. You will be picking one or the other.
okay,
And you have to decide, what do you want? Because you have to understand, if I spend time with my mom, right? It's not to make her feel good. It's because I want to feel good. At the end of the day, if I don't go see her, she's gonna find other shit to do with her time. It's not like she's gonna fucking die or feel depressed. Right? So it is a selfish act to me going there to make myself feel good because I feel like I've made her good. Right? But then you either pick that or simple question, does your business give a fuck about your family affairs?
yeah, no, no.
So then is the focus on you or is the focus on the business?
Hmm. Okay,
And then you
yes,
have to decide which one.
yeah, okay,
Right? And friends, I would say that it is very rare that an entrepreneur makes money and keeps the same friends. It is very rare because of the problems that come with change. I'll give an example with me. I can't like I have friends of the past. I can't speak to them. I can. I can't tell them anything about my life because then they're gonna feel like dog shit. Like genuine dog shit. I remember this one girl was telling me on how me and her used to be very, very close. And she was telling me on how she's doing gigs and she's working on her album. Da, 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 da. And she's like, what are you doing, Ishmael? I'm not gonna tell her that I spent the past fucking 6 months traveling to Dubai, bought a new car, did this, got this, da 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 da. Because it's gonna make her feel like shit. So my response, not much. Just not much. Because I don't want to make I don't want to be a cunt and make her feel bad. Yes, another example was I had this group of guy friends, and I was like, guys, like we gotta just go out every week, once, twice a week, just talk about work, just talk about business money. They couldn't afford it. Like they couldn't afford to go out fucking dinner once or twice a week in nice places, even though there's a lot of benefit to doing so. And I'm not gonna fucking pay for them. Because if I paid for them, would that undermine them? Would that make them feel worse?
It will, yeah.
So where the fuck is the win-win?
Mhm.
yeah.
So say, since I'm in school and all that stuff, I can't completely cut off communication with the power guys and all that stuff. So, because obviously I have some connections from, the agency world, all that stuff. But again, it's I happen to go out with them, not on my own time, but during school to eat out or to do some stuff. So shall I not do that or?
Simple. Ruin, are you friends with anyone that you were friends with in high school, in like Dio's 15-year-old age?
Yeah.
You are?
Hmm.
Good. What do you recommend to Dio?
Oh, actually, like from school, not many. No,
Yeah,
like from high school, no.
I didn't think so. I don't like I'll check them, like my people out every once in a while on Facebook to see if anyone's doing anything interesting or not. The likelihood that you will remain friends with these people is very fucking low.
Mm.
Right. And then my next point, Dio, are you planning to live in Bulgaria all of your life?
Say it again.
Are you planning to live in Bulgaria all of
Of
your
course
life?
not. Yeah, no chance. Mm.
You're gonna take your buddies with you when you travel?
Yeah, yeah, because it's the thing that I see. Well, when they scroll, when they do the stuff that I've tried to go as far as possible from. No, I see that side of them as well, and I just then work and try to move the agency forward. But still, it's that they are humans as well, and you could have a good time with them as well during school, right? So it's just that I could be a complete loner, and I have nothing. No, I don't. There's nothing wrong with being alone, in my opinion. I've yeah.
You will never speak to them again. As soon as everyone goes off to college and makes a new college cool friends and you will not speak with them again.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, and the sad thing is, cool, I have a few good memories. It's not like I sit down and remember high school with a bunch of males because that's gay behavior. Right? The less time you put, okay, wait, simple answer. Don't know why I didn't give it before. Right? This is the easiest way to look at it. There is, and this is one of my universal laws. Right? So, ruin universal law basically means it's one of my belief systems that I have when it comes to business. All right? Nice and
Okay.
simple. You will have 100 points of pain, right? The way I see it, everyone gets pain in their life. It's relatively evenly distributed. Obviously, you get some people who have it worse than others, but all in all, your pain will be evenly distributed. So you have 0 until 75. This is years, right? This is how long you have until you fucking die. The more pain you take on earlier, right? And that's lack of friends, spending time on work, not watching porn but reading a book, right? Going to the gym instead of going to the club, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. You are taking on pain because you are not going to that which is good and doing that which is difficult, right? So the higher ranking you have here, the lower ranking you will have there. But now to the exact opposite, right? If you're gonna have those friends who are fuckwits, who do but fuck nothing with their life, like but fuck nothing. Yeah, they go to college, they get drunk throughout all of their 20s. Their pain is gonna be fucking high up here, like stupidly high, as they rely on the government to give them assistance, so on and so forth, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Right? So the more pain you take on now, the less pain you take on in the future.
Makes sense, yeah. And also in the beginning of the call, you told me that uh I'd have problems, with having too much money or something of that sort, later down the line in a couple of years. Yes, just curious, what did you mean by that?
The second that you make, like, I hate, like, I like training people who are way too young.
Mm.
Right? Because it basically fucks up their life. Like absolutely destroys it. It's fun. Yes. The only issue is once it works, you then automatically think you are gifted. You think you are better than everyone else because you're making money more than your dad, more than your friend's parents, so on and so forth. And you just think you're the hot shit that knows everything. Lo and behold, there was a twat who knew everything, who trained you on everything he knows so that you could get good. But people conveniently forget that part when they look in the fucking mirror.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's very natural. Like for a while, like it even happened to me. I came to the conclusion, I was like, huh, I'm richer than everyone who has a salary. I'm in the top percent. Wonderful. I walk around all chuffed. And then it hit me that I'm at the bottom of the pool when it comes to businesses, but at the
Yeah.
top when it comes to salaries. I'm like, fuck, I'm at the bottom of the pool. Right. So then I realigned and like readjusted.
So it's all about perspective, right? About the
Yeah,
circles you.
it will happen on the basis that you stack on a few more clients, charge them good prices. Like it's gonna fuck with your brain, especially because you're in Bulgaria where things cost absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, well, we are changing to euro, so don't know about that, but yeah.
Yeah, your currency will still be dog shit.
Okay.
Yeah, Wonderful. Any final questions?
No.
Dio, let me chat with Rune because I don't know who it is.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Bye bye.
Thanks. Wonderful.